Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Brokerpreneur podcast. I am Dr. Ben Spears, the ambassador of the AOF, the ambassador of Flow. I'm here with TB.
TBG?
TBG, the big guy.
Good job, Benny.
Yeah,
Good job.
I did my best, guy. I'm here with the big guy, Matt By, as usual. Matt, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good till I was just attacked in the intro. You know, that the victim card just doesn't look good on me, does it?
It doesn't, man. Like you're too awesome.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. Everybody's like, that guy ain't the victim.
No. Yeah, I think that's probably about right.
Yep. So, Matt.
Yeah, Benny.
What are we talking about today, man? Because, I just wrote a bunch of show notes, up on the board. I kind of know what we're talking about.
Right.
Everybody listening, they don't know.
So I think everybody's got a pretty good idea that the market is shifting, right? But do they know which agents in the market are shifting?
Little did he know.
Little did hims know.
Yeah, okay. I like that.
Yep.
We're going to be talking a little bit about shifting.
We're going to be talking about who's shifting.
Yeah, exactly.
How to find them. We're going to talk about some shift.
Yeah, we're going to talk about some shit, some pretty deep shit.
Shift.
Okay, guys. Wherever you're listening to this, hit that follow, that subscribe button. There's no better time than the present than to go to either prospectboomerang.com and click on podcast at the top. Takes you straight to brokerpreneurpodcast.com. You can just go there directly. If you don't know how to spell it, look down at your phone. It's probably right there. Sign up for our weekly recruiting newsletter. I got to take deep breaths. I got to take deep breaths now. It's COVID. Sign up for our weekly recruiting newsletter, guys. I put so much of my heart and my soul and secret information, in that thing that I steal directly from Matt's live coaching calls, and I put in there. And then I throw in some funny stuff every now and then. I try and find those articles, Matt, that's like 18 hilarious real estate stories, of like somebody doing a showing and they walk in, like somebody's using the bathroom or something.
It happens.
It does. It happens so much. It's I'm funny finding research, for this newsletter. But guys, go do that, and we'd just love for you to be, even more part of our community than you already are right now. So, Matt.
Yeah, Benny.
Who's shifting? Who is shifting?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think first of all, we have to kind of, be honest with ourselves. Do we realize that it's more than just the market that shifts, right? So the truth is, we know when it's the market, right? I mean, if you're paying attention, you've been in real estate any period of time at all, you know that it goes from a buyer's to a seller's market. I'm not going to get into all of this, right? But look at it like a pendulum, right? Swinging back and forth. The bottom middle of the pendulum is sloppy in a different way than it's ever been before. Mm-hmm. That's going to cause issues in the momentum of the swing of the pendulum.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yep.
We're not going to get into all of that. A big reason why is because so much of it is conjecture and opinion from me, from what I think I see. I just don't want to get into that. But overall, what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
Let's get back to that. Is people are shifting in the market, right?
Yes.
And so as a broker that is paying attention to recruiting, as a broker that's paying attention to your own agents from a recruiting standpoint, you have to make sure you understand and see who is making those shifts in the market, who is doing things differently, who is actually putting time, effort, and energy into not being the same agent tomorrow that they are today.
Yeah. Yeah, right. and that includes everything from, not just how they're actually doing business, but that also includes what business they're actually doing, right?
Yeah, right. Absolutely. And who they're doing business with. Yep. Okay, so are they a big team and now they're culling back, right? Yeah. Are they an individual operator and they have been for the past 10 years and now they want to grow? Mm-hmm. Are they a brand new agent that's been in the business 9 months and they're thinking that they need to open their own mortgage and property management and all that kind of stuff all around what they're doing in their business because they're that busy already? Mm-hmm. That's what you're looking at. That's what you're paying attention to. That's what you have to be able to see.
Yeah. Or are they a smooth operator?
Oh, here we go.
A smooth
operator.
So if like, okay, there's particular agents in my market. I know that they used to do business this way, or they used to start doing these things. I'm looking at some kind of metric like Readlytics, Brokermetrics, all this different stuff, and I'm saying, ooh, that's different.
Right.
Their shift, something in their business is shifting.
Right.
Do you just go? I know we're going to talk about this a little bit. Do you just go straight after them and just like, I know everything. I know, I can see it.
I've been stalking you. I know what you're doing. I've been
stalking you. Yeah. Or is there something that we need to kind of self-reflect,
right?
And kind of look at who we are first before,
absolutely,
we go and talk to them.
Yeah. Are you, whenever they're shifting, are you a good place for them to shift to?
Yeah.
You got to be honest about that, right?
Yep.
Okay. So are they a good shift? Meaning that, okay, let's say that they were a buyer's agent for 5 years on somebody's team. Now all of a sudden you're seeing their name pop up and they're doing a lot of listings, right?
Yep.
They're no longer their production. They're starting to show production, so they're no longer under that team leader. If you're somebody that buys all your leads and you don't really have anything that supports listing agents, you might love the fact that you want the business and want to be at a certain phase with them in their business, but that doesn't mean you're necessarily a good fit for them.
Right.
Okay. Or maybe you're just completely absent from what they do in their business, and you're just there, you're training them, telling them to go get them Tiger. And no matter what kind of business they're doing, it's going to fit into overall what it is that you're trying to accomplish with your business, with their business, right? What your business is helping them accomplish with their business. That's what I'm trying to say.
No, I know. Right. Nobody else knows what you're saying, but I get it.
Right. Yeah. So, and I appreciate that. So you have to take a look at how well that matches.
Yeah.
Right. And absolutely, you need to look at those places and see what they're doing, see what's going on that's different, talk to people, or all of a sudden they, a big one that happens is people, shift to commercial, right?
Yeah.
They shift to property management, right? Sometimes they're just dabbling in it and they get their big toe wet enough that they're like, I don't want to go back in that water ever again.
Amen.
Right? They get the toe bit off, right?
Yeah.
But other times, they dig into it and they're like, man, there's so much less, let's just say, emotion in the commercial side of things. I've been dealing for the past 10 years. I've turned down business and handed it over to all of these people and to other commercial agents. I'm just exhausted from all the emotional stuff on this. And I've got 4 or 5 big deals that are coming up and I'm going to make almost as much money from that. Maybe I should go ahead and learn up and get my CCIM and do the things that I need to do and get better at this to go to the commercial side of things. Well, if you're set up to be that way as a company, that you're there to support what they're doing from a commercial standpoint, not just do I want to make a portion of their revenue, right? But you're there to support them in that. Absolutely, you want to have a direct conversation.
Yeah.
You want to say, hey, listen, I've noticed it looks like to me that there's some shifting going on here. This is really what my company does. I'd love to sit down and talk to you. If it's that good of a match, if you see that shift happening and it's that good of a match, absolutely, I think you should be very direct. I think you should pick up the phone or you should bump into them. You should talk to them and you should say, hey, this is where it looks like you're going. Maybe I missed this, but I'd love to talk to you about that if this actually is where you're going.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't understand that's what's happening.
Yeah.
They don't realize that their business has shifted from a listing side to a buyer side business.
Yeah.
They're just out there working and they're chasing and following the market.
Yeah.
And if you roll up to them and say, hey, I see that you're not doing as many listings and you're doing a lot more buyers and, my company handles helps a lot of buyers agents. We have a lot of tools for them. They might get offended.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So you have to kind of see if what they're doing is intentional or not. Now, the question is, how do you understand if what they're doing is intentional or not? One, you can pay attention on social media.
Yeah.
Right? What are they posting on social media? Are they doing more commercial deals, but everything they're posting on social media is still the residential stuff? They're still showing all the pictures of them at the closing table with people, and the properties that they're putting out there are all about the residential thing, and you're almost seeing no commercial at all, but yet their MLS numbers or wherever are showing a lot of commercial transactions. At that point, you got to be careful walking up and going, oh, hey, I see that you're doing a lot more business on commercial, and maybe you're giving up on residential. My company's really geared towards that. Don't do that. Yeah. That's just going to blow up in your face.
Yeah.
Right. So one, you got to know who you are, what you're good at. 2, you have to be paying attention to what's going on with their numbers, and you have to see if there's some intent to their transition. You have to try to identify if there's intent to their transition. So instead of calling them up, if you can't easily do that through some of the ways that we just talked about, if you can't easily do that, then you have to softly do it.
Yeah.
Right. You've got to reach out. A perfect example would be, our listing challenge.
Yeah.
Right. So our clients can use our listing challenge. If you see someone making that shift, they've been a buyer's agent for a team for 5 years. All of a sudden, there's a lot of transactions coming up and everything. That's whenever you invite them to the listing challenge. Hey, Betty Sue, I noticed that you're doing a lot more listings than you have historically in the past. I got this great listing challenge coming up. I'd love for you to be part of it. A bunch of top agents from across the nation are going to be doing it. I'd love for you to be able to participate and learn some best practices and maybe share with everybody how you're winning. I've got a free registration for you. I'm going to send that over. Hopefully, we'll see you in the challenge.
Yeah.
Right now, at that point, you've said, hey, listings matter to me. If you want to get better at them, I'm working on how to get better at listings. You're putting that out there in a way that is not, hey, you need to come work for me because where you're at doesn't do what I do.
Yeah.
You're nicely saying, hey, look, if this is really the way that you're going, I've got a way of helping out with that. Why don't we talk?
Yeah. No, absolutely. Excuse me, guys. Hey, guys, this podcast is powered by Prospect Boomerang.
We all know broker owners struggle with profitability. Prospect Boomerang compounds your profits by recruiting the best agents to your brokerage.
For consistent growth, visit prospectboomerang.com. Once you see, okay, their business is increasing, or once you see that their business is shrinking, mm-hmm. just like we just talked about, yes, we can invite them, to challenges. We can invite them to events, right? That's why we create those things, right? Like, mm-hmm. Not everybody that's listening, is a Prospect Boomerang client.
Right.
We'll say yet,
right?
You guys, We would love to have you be part of the Prospect.
Yeah, we want to help.
Family.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways we can help.
Yeah, it is important to know, how to talk to that person in a way, again, like you said, that hasn't blown up into your face, right? So I don't want to reiterate all the things that we just said, but if someone doesn't have all these tools at their disposal, mm-hmm. right? Like what's one way? Just give them one way. That they could reach out knowing that they see these changes, mm-hmm. but not stick their foot in their mouth.
Yeah,
that kind of thing. Like,
yeah. So how can they do that? So it's always best to lead with value.
Of course,
right?
Yes.
So whenever we reach out to people, there's going to be some things that you can do either through your franchise system, if you're a franchise, or through your past experience, if it's your past experience, or through a network of people that or people in your agents in your office that are already doing business in that arena. You can always reach out to them and just say, hey, listen, I pay attention to what's going on in the market, mm-hmm. and I try to notice not just market shifts, but also shifts in people's business. And I just wanted to call and congratulate you because it looks like you're actually shifting in what you're doing and earning money from other places than you've historically earned them from. And I just wanted to call and say congratulations. I love it that you're getting the commercial arena. If there's ever anything I can do, I'd love to be able to help.
Yeah.
Reach out from a point of value to begin with, and tell them you pay attention to the market and you pay attention to players in the market. Mm-hmm. That's what you're reaching out to say to them. From that point, a lot of times that's going to be enough to stroke their ego, pat their ego, right?
Yeah.
And introduce the conversation. A lot of times they're going to say, thanks, or I hadn't noticed, or yeah, I've been working really hard lately on that, or I see some things happening in the market, and it's different than whatever, and I know that I needed to make a change. You're giving them the chance. You're just saying, hey, something's different, way to go. And then you're putting them in a position for them to be able to say, yes, this is why the change is happening. Gotcha. You're trying to open that door with them to say, hey, I noticed this. Why don't you tell me a little bit about why?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then once they start to talk about it, just truly listen and see if it's something that you can honestly help with, right? Is your company in a position, are you in a position as a broker to help them be better at that as they make that shift in their business?
Yeah. Gotcha. Well, guys, there's a few things that I picked up from this podcast. Right. One is if you're a smooth operator, don't go out and try and recruit smooth criminals. Right? Just because it's a little bit the same, it doesn't mean it's exactly
the same but different.
It's not exactly who you are, right? You're good. You're good. Law-abiding citizen.
Ben, you're a smooth operator. You know that?
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's going to be my sub nickname. Second thing
Dr. Ben Spears, Ambassador Flow, smooth operator.
Yes,
I just had to try it on for size. I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry.
CSO. I'm the CSO, Chief Smooth Operator. Second thing that I pick up from this podcast is if you're going to dip your toe, use your middle toe.
Right. That way in case.
I mean, you don't really want to lose the edges.
Right. Yeah. Right. The edges keep you balanced.
Yeah. You know, even the Ninja Turtles.
Right.
Even the Ninja Turtles can,
right.
you know, can get out there and do cartwheels and stuff. Right. So use your middle toe if you're going to dip. And then, but the last thing is, if people's business is shifting, if the market is shifting, if you are shifting, try and find a very key lane,
right,
where all three of those shifts line up together.
Absolutely.
And they're all going in the same direction.
Absolutely.
Right. So, is that probably the three main points that you wanted to make?
I would say one of the three of those is spot on from what I would.
So I'm an overachiever.
So absolutely, getting the convergence of those points, is absolutely going to help make sure that the people that you want to see you in a certain light, it's going to help them build that rapport with you, because what they're doing, what they're exploring, what they're learning on is the same thing that you're already in that lane. Yeah. Right. And so that's going to help them feel automatically more comfortable. That's going to help you build that rapport for sure. Sweet.
Well, guys, I'm going to get Matt to give you an action item here in just a second.
We got a good one.
But before that, wherever you listen to this, whether it be iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Deezer, or any of those platforms, make sure to hit that follow button. If you're watching us on YouTube, bless your heart, hit that red subscribe button and that bell right beside it to get notified every time that you want to see Matt and Ben talk.
Wow.
You know,
when you say it video like that, it sounds so bad.
I know it. It's so funny. You get notified every time we drop a new episode. Guys, if you want to watch or listen to these all in the same place, then please go to brokerpreneurpodcast.com. You know, we have right there on the homepage our five latest episodes. You can just watch them straight from there, or you can click and go and listen to all the, see a page with all the episodes. While you're there, make sure you sign up for that weekly recruiting newsletter.
Absolutely.
And then also we've got a couple things. I'm not sure if when you're listening to this, it may have changed, but we have the 3 ways to scale your recruiting.
Yeah.
That shows up when you come to the page, and we just want to help you guys out. So go and download that, and let us know if you have any questions about it. We're more than happy to have a sit down and just say, yeah, this is what we meant by this, and maybe how you can actually utilize that free guide and to help grow your business. Matt.
Yeah, Ben.
Tell us the action item, man.
So the action item is a really cool, really simple, really neat one, and it's one that I think is probably understated by some coaches and trainers. Okay. What are you reading? Right. So if you want to be more attractive to people that are shifting and moving in the market, then you have to understand what's going on in the market.
Yeah. What
is it that you're reading? Right. So reading books about Fabio and Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Are not going to tell you about a shifting market in your local market or the national market. Right. They're just not going to.
I don't know, man. Fabio.
He might know. Fabio might know.
Fabio might know.
So you've got to be reading things that are actually helping you understand that if you're trying to capitalize on this and what we just talked about, then you've got to be looking at information in places that you need to be looking at it, right? So where do you find that? So Lawrence Yun, who's the chief economist for National Association of Realtors, puts a ton of great information out. Real Trends puts a lot of great information out. Swan Sparrow Report, T360 puts it out. Tom Ferry puts some good information out. There's absolutely a lot of places that you need to get that information. Honestly, your local board president probably does. Your state association president probably does. There's probably information on your state association site about what's going on with the market. There's a lot of different places that you can get this information. You need to be spending some time in each of those places to get better at understanding what's going on in the market. Because you are going to notice, you're going to bump into somebody that's shifting. And here's what I don't want to have happen. Okay. I don't want you to hear this podcast and go, okay, well, that kind of makes sense. And I kind of see that and, whatever. And, however, right. You acknowledge the existence of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And then 3 weeks from now, you're talking to somebody and they're like, yeah, I really decided to get into commercial and I really wanted to understand a little bit better how to make money and not be in the same emotional cycle that residential was. So I really wanted to get better at something else. So I started digging into commercial. And I don't want the managers out there that are recruiting in the back of their head to go, crap. Yeah. Matt said, be ready for this conversation. And I'm not ready for this conversation.
Yeah.
At that point, you need to be able to say, well, I completely get it. I try to pay attention to what goes on in the market, and our association president and Lawrence Young are both saying the same thing about what's going to happen with commercial in 2022, especially the spring through the summer, and how retail is going to continue to drop off.
Yep.
And how office and land are going to continue to grow. On the leasing side of office and on the sales side of land, it's going to continue to grow. So being in commercial is a great place to put some of your efforts, for sure. I'd love to sit down and talk to you a little bit more about that. If you're ready to have that conversation with somebody, because you've paid attention to the market and you know how to adapt it to that conversation, whether the person's talking about getting into commercial or they're shifting the listing side of things or they're starting a team or they're whatever they're doing, if you can talk intelligently about what's going on with all of that because you're reading the right things,
yeah,
they're going to see you as a solution for problems that they know are coming in the growth direction that they're already heading.
Yeah.
That's how they need to look at you as a broker, as a partner that can help them grow, instead of just another broker who's saying you should come work for me. I'm the cheapest one in town.
Yeah, I like it. Guys, we love doing this podcast.
We do.
Absolutely. I just love coming and, twisting Matt's words.
Convincing people to put their big toes in water.
Yeah, convincing people to start with your big toe.
Right.
All right? Who needs it? But yeah, that's a great action item. I want to make sure that everybody understands, just like Matt. Like Matt reads a lot of real estate,
probably too much depending on who you ask.
Yeah, along with everything else. You guys should do that, but that doesn't mean, just like Matt always makes time for his Fabio books.
That's right, always. Yeah, of course, for my Fabio romance novels. That's what. Can y'all see me reading a Fabio? Look at my hair. What do Fabio and I have in common? Absolutely nothing. Huh.
No, you're both like 6'4". I've never seen Fabio. I imagine the dude's tall. He's probably a big dude, but he's got a bun and you don't.
Right.
So guys, make sure you're doing all those great things, helping so you can have those conversations. But Matt.
Yes, man.
Another thing that they need to do is make sure that they tune into the next episode of the Brokerpreneur podcast.
Right.
And the reason they need to do that is because we do these podcasts. We like having a good time.
Of course. This is such a good time.
Yeah. But we do these podcasts for one reason and one reason alone. Tell them why that is.
Because we just want to be part of their win.
That's right.